we're going to be learning how to calculate the length of between 2 points, and then you're going to be learning how to calculate the value of sine theta, cos theta, sine squared theta plus cos squared theta, and these are some of your notes. And then these are other some of the notes you're going to learn about the sine theta graph. You're going to learn about this important triangles, and you then going to learn how to determine this without the use of the calculator, which is very important questions. And yeah, cool. Question 1. So this is about trigonometry, right? So everything in trigonometry, I'm going to give you notes, I'm going to give you questions, and I'm happy to answer them. Okay, so you are given this diagram and you are told that you have a point P and your point O, and the point O, of course, is a point of origin. So this is point 0, 0, point P 4 and 3. And then question 1.1 says calculate the length of OP. Okay, so 1.1 say calculate the length of OP. So basically they want you to find the distance between O and P, right? Just use the distance formula. So distance formula say x P minus xO, the x value of P minus the x value of O squared, plus the y value of P minus the y value of O squared. Okay, and then the x value of P is 4 and the x value of O is 0. Okay, and the y value of P is 3 and the y value of O is 0 squared. And then here just simple algebra. So 4 minus 0, that's 4, so you're gonna have 4 squared. 3 minus 0, that's 3, so you're gonna have 3 squared. And 4 squared is 16, 3 squared is 9, 16 plus 9 is 25, and your answer is 5. So the distance between O and P is equal to 5. Okay, and so it's 3 marks. Okay, so you get a mark for your answer, you get a mark for a distance formula, and you get a mark for substituting it correctly. Okay, and that's how you get your 3 marks. Now let's go to some trigonometry. Excited about it. So calculate the value of sine theta, cos theta, and sine squared theta plus cos squared theta. If you know how to do it, please pause this video and do it. Otherwise let's go, let's do it together, right? And so first thing first, you need to then, I realized that you got for this particular diagram here, this could be written like this. Let's say you have like a 90 degrees here. Okay, and a distance between 0 and this point here is that 4 here, is that 4. So distance between 0 and that point is 4. And now a distance between this point and that point over here is 3. So that's why you have that 4 and 3. Okay, and then we are told that then a distance between 0 and P, which you found here, is 5. So this is equal to 5. This is the information that you need to know, right, from 1.1. Now 1.2 says calculate the value of sine theta. Okay, so before we calculate the value of sine theta, cos theta, and all of that, I'm going to give you some notes that you need to know by heart, right? That sine theta is equal to the opposite side of theta over hypotenuse side of theta. Okay, and cos theta is equal to the adjacent side of theta over the hypotenuse side of theta. And tan theta is equal to the adjacent side of theta, the opposite side of theta over the adjacent side of theta. Okay, so these are the notes that you need to know by heart. And the ways of remembering this, whatever way that you use, that's still fine, as long as you know it. Okay, so 1.2.1 say that find sine theta. Okay, so sine theta again is opposite side of theta over hypotenuse side. So this is theta. What is the opposite side of theta? This is the opposite side of theta. And the opposite side of theta is what? Is 3. And the hypotenuse side of theta is 5. So it's going to be 3 over 5. Boom, easy, right? And then you get your mark. It's 1 mark, so boom, 1 mark. Okay. 1.1.2. So of course theta is equal to, again, is adjacent side of theta over the hypotenuse side of theta. So the adjacent side of this is theta, and the adjacent side of theta is this side here over hypotenuse. So this is gonna be 4/5. Okay, and then 1.2.3, of course, we know in identity theorem, right, that sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1. So if you write this as equal to 1, you get 1 mark. You won't get 2 marks. So to get 2 marks, you need to be able to replace this and then figure out how to get to 1, okay? So that's how you're going to do. So I want you to get 4 marks. So what you do is, you say, okay, cool, what's sine squared theta plus cos squared theta? So sine squared theta, of course, sine, we have cos squared, sorry, let me put it this way. You have sine squared theta plus cos squared theta, right? So sine theta, I've already identified as 3/5. So it's going to be 3/5 squared. Cos theta, you've already identified cos theta as 4/5, right? So it's going to be 4/5 squared. And then from here, easy algebra. So you're going to say 3 squared, which is 9, 5 squared, which is 25. And you're going to say again 4 squared, which is 16, and 5 squared, which is 25. So 16/25. The lowest common denominator is 25. So 25 and 9 plus 16. And 9 plus 16 is 25/25, and it's equal to 1. Great. So that's how you get your 2 marks. So you get 1 mark and 1 mark for that. So for question 2, we're definitely not going to do this. And the reason being is because they want you to just use a calculator to find the following values, right? And leave into 3 decimal places. Of course, just take your calculator, punch this the way it is in your calculator, and you get your answer and you get your 4 marks. However, what I'm excited about is then use determining these trigonometric equations without using a calculator. Okay, so that's what I'm excited about, and that's what I'm going to show you to you. But before we go there, let me give you some notes. Okay, so your notes are, again, you got cos theta and tan, cos 30 and tan 60. So what you need to know is this triangle here, this very important triangle, a 90 degrees triangle. And let's say this bigger angle is called 60 degrees. Of course, then this is going to be 30 degrees because the sum of the angles within a triangle are equal to 180 degrees. And then need to know this is root 3, this is 1, and this is 2. You need to remember this triangle. Right, now to find cos theta, let's go 2.2.1 cos 30 degrees, right? We know that cos is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So 30 is this side, is this angle here. So the opposite, sorry, the adjacent side of 30 is this side here, which is root 3, and over hypotenuse, which is 2. So cos 30 is equal to root 3/2. Make sense? And then tan 6 degrees, tan theta is opposite over adjacent. So this is 60. The opposite side of 60 is root 3, and the adjacent side of 60 is 1. So opposite of adjacent, so it's root 3/1, which is equal to root 3. Okay, and then you can then say, okay, cool, what is cos, that's cos 30 degrees plus, oh my goodness, why? Tan 6 degrees, right? Which is equal to root 3/2 plus root 3. And then you get your answer. Basically, this is your answer. If you want to simplify, you can simplify it further, but this is your answer. So this is how you get your 3 marks. So you get a mark from here, and a mark from there, and a mark for this answer. Can simplify it further. If you did simplify it further, please type the answer in your comment. Okay, just comment the answer if you simplify this further. Type it in the comment. right? Let's go to 2.2.2, right? So 2.2.2, I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna need I still need these nodes, but I'm gonna add something different as well, another triangle that you need to remember. Okay, so this is 45 so this say this is 90 degrees and this is 45 degrees. Of course, this is still 45 degrees, right? So you need to remember this. If you have a triangle like this side is gonna be 1, this side is gonna be 1, and this is gonna be square root of 2. You need to remember that. So now we're gonna use these two famous triangles. You need to remember this to be able to calculate these trigonometric equation without a calculator. You need to always use this triangle. You need to remember them. And then from there it becomes really, really, really easy. Okay, so how you do this? So you got sine, we're doing 2.2.2. okay, you got sine 45 degrees, and again sine 45, so sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So look at 45, it's opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so it's 1 over root 2. And if you use your calculator, it's gonna be root 2 over 2. Sorry, not root 2 over 2 square. Wow, yeah, it's gonna be root 2 over 2. So if you do that, it's a sign that you use a calculator, but a good sign if you didn't use a calculator, that's what you'll get. Okay, that's a good sign if you didn't use a calculator. So the markers, they know, but 1 over root 2 is the same as 2, it's the same as root 2 over 2, right? The same thing. In the next video, other videos, I'll talk about that, and I've also talked about why this is the same, so check out on my previous videos. I'm happy to re-explain if you want me to explain. And then you got cos 45 degrees. So cos 45 degrees is cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, and cos 45, so this is 45, it's adjacent, 45 is adjacent over hypotenuse, so it's 1 over root 2. And you see that sine 45 and cos 45, you get the same answer, so they're the same, they're equal. You can always remember that. And then cosec 90 degrees is the same as 1 over sine 90 degrees. Okay, and sine 90 degrees is equal to 1. So you need to know that sine 90 degrees is equal to 1, and you need to remember this. And how to recall this from your memory. If you can't remember this, you can just draw your sine graph. Okay, and you know this is 1 and this is -1, and this is 0 degrees, this is 90 degrees, this is 180 degrees, to 70 and 360. Okay, so basically this means that sine 90 degrees is equal to, let's say sine 0, for example, sine 0 degrees, if it's 0, then this is equal to 0. Sine 90 degrees, if this is 90, this is equal to 1. Sine 180 degrees, this is equal to 0, right? So sine 270 is equal to what? This is 270, this is equal to -1. Sine 360 is equal to what? 0. So you need to remember that. This is how you remember it using a graph, or you can just recall that to memory. But it's always nice to do that just using from the graph, so you don't have to put a lot of information in memory. Okay, so this is 1 over, so sine 90, again, sine 90, this is 90, so this is 1 over 1, which is equal to 1. And then we got tan squared 30 degrees. Of course, this can be written as tan 30 degrees squared. And tan 30 degrees, again, you're looking at this triangle here. So tan is opposite over adjacent. So the opposite side is this one, and the adjacent side is this one. So tan 30 is 1 over root 3. This is all squared. And of course, 1 squared is 1, square root of 3 squared is 3. So That's your answer. And then from here, you can just simplify. So you have sine 45 over cos 45 is 1 over root 2 over 1 over root 2. That's just 1. And then cosec 90 is 1 plus 3. Tan squared 30 is 1 over 3. So this is 1 minus 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 times 1 over 3 is just 1. And 1 minus 5 plus 1, that is 2 minus 5, which is minus 3. Yeah, that's your answer. That's your final answer. So this is 5 marks. So you get a mark for this, get a mark for that, get a mark for this. That's 3. Get a mark for this. That's 4. And you get a mark for your answer. That's 5. That's how you get your 5 marks. And this is how you can actually get this 12 marks plus 7 marks in question 1 and question 2 for your paper 2 for grade 10 mathematics. In fact, this is grade 10 and 11 and 12. You'll always get almost similar questions. So if you understand these basics, I'm happy to help you. Please let me know. Write down the comment and share this with your friends if you find them helpful. It's definitely going to come in your June exam, definitely going to come in your September exam, it's definitely going to come in your December exam. So if you know this, you are actually helping yourself. So make sure that you ask questions if you don't understand anything. I'm here for you. I'm happy to help you. Boom.